Hi friends, welcome back to Terry Lisa Creates. Today we're doing a sewing project and I'm really excited about this one. So from me right now, about 6 to 8 weeks away, a movie is going to come out and it's Mario Galaxy. It's the second animated Mario movie to come out in a while, and the first one was really cute. My family and I like to play Mario Kart and Mario Party. But I am always Rosalina, so I wanted to do a Rosalina inspired outfit. And I've already drafted up what I want it to look like. This is not a cosplay, it's just inspired by, and I want to be able to wear this in real life as well. So we're gonna do a tunic in this tracksuit type fabric. It's the perfect teal color for Rosalina, and it's cotton, or mostly cotton, so maybe 95% cotton to 100% cotton. So I'm really excited about it. It has some recovery, so I think there might be a little bit of lycra in it, which is fine. I bought like a couple colors of this a couple seasons ago. A bunch of the tracksuit fabric was going on sale. I think there was like a slight revival. When I was a teenager, I thought that Paris Hilton, or probably preteen, when I was a preteen, Paris Hilton was wearing all those Juicy Couture tracksuits. I thought they were so cool. My parents would never spend that kind of money on a tracksuit, so I never wore one. But when I saw all this come on sale, I was like, I must grab some, and it's such pretty colors. So I got this, and when I decided to do a Rosalina inspired outfit, I was like, I got the fabric for it. So we're gonna use that. We also have some cotton knit, and this has 5% lycra as well, so it has really nice recovery. We're gonna do a turtleneck and leggings, Flair leggings. They're gonna be super simple, hopefully to whip up. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, get some momentum. Then I'm thinking of also doing a slip out of this beautiful bridal fabric that I've got. I'm not going to use the whole panel. I think I might just use the bottom, like 8 inches. I think it's just gorgeous. We could also do something where it comes out of the wrists. Now, finally, like I said, this is inspired by Rosalina, but it's a normal everyday outfit. I was also inspired by Arwen from the Lord of the Rings movies. She has this beautiful collar on her dresses, and it's like a boat neck, but it's a little bit lower and a little bit wider. Almost somewhere between medieval and kind of Renaissance-y, and she has, it's beaded if you look at it on her costumes, and it's just beautiful, and I love it. I'm really excited about it. I also want to do a detachable beaded collar, so that's what you see here is some beads that I bought specifically for this project. So the beads and the thread are the only thing I've bought for this project, and I think the only thing I need to buy. That's gonna be the more challenging part of this project, but we'll get through it. You'll see I got a lot of whites, clears, this perfectly matched beads that are slightly lighter in tone, but the perfect color, and a tiny bit of a topaz colored glass bead. And if you look up Rosalina, she has a topaz jewel on her chest. So it's very inspired by Rosalina, but we've got some other inspiration there, and I want to be able to wear this day to day. So that's kind of the overall look that we're going for. All right, so here's the top of the back of the pants. I very lightly just put some lines in. Dashed lines, this is generally where the pattern sits. Rather than copying
taking a pair of leggings that I really like, I laid them out on the table, working really hard to get one side very flat. Then I put some paper over it and lightly traced just a dashed line around the edge. I replicated this by turning the pants over and copying the back as well.
Curve that matches my French curve. This is the seam line, mind you. It kind of goes down and then up, but I think that's because I wear them. So I'm gonna trust this inward curve because that's typical. So there we go. It's a little bit lower than some of my other lines, but that does match up. So I'm gonna go with this. The material's stretchy, so this makes it a little bit easier. Next, this is where we've got the two options. I have this extra 3/8" curve, which I'll show you here how to do. So I'm matching up the curve, and then all we've got to do is add there. And that adds a perfect 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I like to be able to see both the seam line and the seam allowance line on my patterns so that when I go back and I make a new pattern from the old pattern, I change something up, I can easily see both lines. Because when you're changing things, the seam line matters a lot more than the seam allowance line. Next, what you can do is we'll do this over here and see this like perfectly matches this seam. There we go. Ah, wonderful. Now, again, I could easily use my outside edge, but I wanted to show you this as well. You match the edge of the black circle to the seam, and then you put your little pen in here and you trace. So if we go here, there we go. Oh, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oops, that was me not putting my pen on. I would say this tool I'll probably still use a little bit more than this one where I'm doing large edges. Where I'm doing small edges, like in a little bit I'll do the gusset piece, this is gonna be a lot easier to use. Okay, so I've got the front and the back of the pants done. I've added the stitch line as well as the seam line, and the next really important step is checking that everything's gonna work. Because if it doesn't work on the paper, it is absolutely not gonna work on the fabric. If it works on the paper, there's still a chance it's not gonna work on the fabric. But we'll start here, and you can see through, I'm matching up seam line to seam line and just double checking that everything is gonna match. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a marking here. This is gonna be where the gusset is. I'm gonna make the gusset the same on all sides. So we'll do that. And, oops, keep checking it. The front of the pants on the inseam, which is where they're gonna come around and connect, is a couple inches off, which honestly is not super surprising. Had a little bit of trouble drawing it, so that's either my fault or just how the things were laying, something like that. The next thing, before I make any changes, because this is going to be technically one piece, so you can't see, but the side seam where I'm going to tape these two together actually matches just about perfectly. On the one that's shorter, I may cut in and spread this missing distance. Then, this is gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna actually take out, here's this skinny part is the knee, so I think right below the knee, I'm gonna take out about an inch of fabric because these are a little bit long on me, the regular ones, but I wanna keep the volume at the bottom.
All right, so we're about to cut out this fabric, and I think I'm gonna cut it out with everything going this way with this side up, because if you watch this, nice and shiny, more matte, and I think I want everything to look similar, so I think I'll go the more shiny side, although I do like the matte look as well. I'll think about it, but I'm gonna just start cutting, and what I do generally is just cut out the biggest pieces first. So I'll cut out this big back piece, blah, 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 just get through everything.
A lot has happened, and you might be able to see the damage. Pants, done, sewn. Honestly, I guess I didn't film any of this, but it was so fast that like, it just like whipped up. So you can see here, no front seam, just the seam in the back and the seam along the edges, and then put the waistband in, and at the end, a 1/2 inch, turned it over, 1/2 inch, sewed it. So basically took it up an inch, which ended up being perfect. So those are done. Also, my shirt is done. This went together super fast. Having a serger makes sewing knits super fast. Same exact thing with the arms and the bottom. I'm gonna need to make like 10 more of these. Love it. I went ahead and on the back put ties because I was afraid putting it over my head would stretch out the neckline, and I really didn't want that. I wanted it to be tight, so I just put in ties and they work great. The only hand sewing I did was at the very tips, just rolled it over twice and sewed it down because I tried it with machine, but on this small of a space, you really gotta hand sew it. So did those two things. They're both done. Cut out and started sewing my blue dress. I did a tiny test piece of first serging it and then ironing it and then sewing a line to sew it down. You can kind of see that. I decided not to sew the serged edge down, just to iron it. The iron worked fine. You will be able to see here, this was just one long strip and I just folded it at the end, so the mat of the fabric is going two different ways, one down, one up, and so you can very much tell the difference. So I'm glad I went ahead and cut everything from the same direction. It did cost a tiny bit of fabric, but since I've got so much, I could probably cut out a whole nother dress. I just used like a different part of the fabric than I would have done if I didn't have to care about that. And on my next project that I use, hopefully I'll be able to use all of that. Honestly, I think I took a picture of it, but there was like a handful of fabric that I threw away. I probably could have kept it and just kept it in a box and used it as stuffing. That's maybe what I'll do moving forward. Everything else, basically for me, anything bigger than like my hand, I keep just in case there's any other projects I can do with it. So moving forward, that's what we've got done. I need to iron this, and then I'm gonna work on the neckline because that's gonna be the hardest, most important part. I need to cut the neckline out of this silk is my plan, to make it as least bulky as I can. I'm gonna do basically a facing with the silk and some interfacing. I will put some buttons, not buttons, snaps, the female side of the snap on the facing of the neckline. And then I need, basically minimum, I need 4 necklines cut out of this fabric. Cut out the amount for the skirt because I need just a big swatch of that. And I think I've done my math, and I think it needs to be 20 inches wide, and just the length of that material, the nice material you can kind of see over there. So my plan is to go ahead and use the selvage end as the top, because that's one less thing to worry about, and just cut 20 inches down. And then I'll have, since this is, I believe, 44 inches wide, I should have a good chunk left to work with and cut out quite a few of those necklines, as well as potentially the bolero. I've got my heat tool. This is from We Are Memory Keepers, and it's supposedly used for like melting plastic together. Kind of a long story. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But honestly, it's just a woodworking tool, the wood burning. And I lost my other tips. I have the one tip that like matters, and then I lost all the other ones because
I end up not doing the bolero. I want to do it in the future, so I'm going to skip most of that explanation.
And I got a pointy one, which I'm hoping to use on the netting to go around the applique. There are 3 layers to that material. I'm going to use the bottom layer as the bottom of my slip. I'm going to use the top layer as the arms. And I won't use all of that, I'll just use part of it. So the leftovers from the top and the bottom, because there'll be a tiny bit on the bottom where I'll cut to make sure the design matches. I'll use that as kind of the base of the neckline collars, right? So I won't have to bead the whole thing. I can just add some accent beads by hand. Before I stop this and clean up, because my goal, today is Friday, my goal is to clean this all up today. So tomorrow I can jump in. I've got a lot of mess over there and a little bit of mess over here. I'm hoping to just organize, get ready, so tomorrow I can come down and sew and get some stuff done, and maybe craft a little bit, which I cannot do because it's taken over by sewing. You probably can't tell, but right over here, I got some new fabric. I have really been trying not to buy new fabric unless it's something specific like this silk that I need a very specific thing that I don't have. I've been trying really hard not to buy fabric because I've got a ton of fabric and I've been trying to use it. But I have been using it. One, Mood was having a sale on green fabrics. Green is like my favorite color and I love wearing green. So the three fabrics I've been looking at for months all have green. So they were all on sale. Let me show you. The one I'd been looking at the shortest amount of time, aka it's the newest one, the one I was so excited about, is this one. So cute. It's linen and it's printed, obviously. And it has this beautiful tree, has beautiful colors. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this. This might be the next thing, my next big project. I want to do like an explorer core. Another linen is this beautiful purple with a floral design with stitching. It's so cute. This fabric, which is 100% cotton, and I believe it's a voile, but I could be wrong with that. But it's kind of thin, pretty drapey, very smooth and wonderful. I have a really fun idea about this one that I might loop into the tree linen project, maybe, or it might be a kind of a bonus project after that one. Hopefully short, easy project, but so cute. Then silhouette patterns, where I get most of my fabric, including the blue, the teal fabric that we're using in this project. The other one I'll show you in just a second was the reason I was like, I have to buy something from them. And since I was ordering, I went ahead and ordered this beautiful wool. It's a very thin wool. I think she called it Florida wool, but it's not like a winter wool. You can wear it, maybe not in summer, but spring, fall, winter, you can wear it. So it's just this beautiful berry, fuchsia, jewel toned color that I liked. And you can see I've got a lot more right there. She actually gave me over a yard extra because I guess it has some holes in it. I'll take it. I need to serge all the edges in all of these and then wash them. And then this one, oh, this is gonna be another fun, really simple project. But it is 2 yards, aka 2 panels of this beautiful print. Silk print. And I think she said it was Ralph Lauren. So amazing, I just love it. It's the same all the way down, but like 60 inches. All right, we're all clean and organized. Only the things that I need to use still are out, and a little bit over there, just where it's out of the way. And I cleaned up all over there. Ignore that big black thing. I even cut out the fabric a little bit, just broke it into the 3 different pieces. The fancy fabric that's gonna have the lace detail on the slip, the potential sleeves for the bolero, and the leftover from the middle. And I think this is the middle, and I think it might look really cool as like around the edge of a shirt or a dress. I thought that was really pretty. So might have to make that sometime soon. Adorable. Anyway, I think I'm done for the night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I put the stitching lines in, which you can see here in blue, and then I laid it out without having stitched it and marked where the new stitching line should be.
And then I pinned it, or well, then I sewed it and just finger pressed this down. And now I guess I'll sew around this first line, and then I'll do a basting stitch all around this line so I can fold it over and press it, and then I'll need to put in the snap, then sew down this to like that. First row is done. I'm going to add the basting stitch, and I'm actually going to do it slightly inside so that when the color is over, it'll cover the stitch here. So I think that's a smart thing to do. I'm also going to serge this edge and then stitch it down towards the inside. Couple of days since the last clip, and I am one step further than I was then, but I've done a ton of work because immediately upon finishing where I got to, which was so exciting, I finally got everything neckline wise moving forward, and I got this woven piece in. It was going great. I started to iron, and of course I ironed through this stupid thing. I'm still a little mad about it, but I decided, even though this was on the back, it was just in a position I couldn't really easily replace since it's so high up on the neckline. So I could have done a lot of things. What I ended up doing is just recutting out the front, the back, top, and going ahead, stitching it all up and putting in a new neckline. So you'll see I got there. I even got to adding the stay stitch. I'm gonna stitch it like this. I'm gonna iron this over so it's like that, and then I'll stitch along this edge just so that it doesn't bother me. Facings always bother me. I never, like, as much as I'd love a shirt that had a facing, I just honestly wouldn't wear it because it's so annoying to me. So I will stitch this down. There will be a slight stitch seam. What are you gonna do? I was thinking about putting a few snaps just to hold the removable collar in place, but honestly, gravity and friction is gonna hold that in place just fine. I do not need the extra bulk of these snaps. But it is actually looking good, and I think the neckline, the silk with the interfacing is gonna give a lot of structure and body to this not as structured fabric. This has been the most difficult part so far, but I went ahead and pinned up all around. I had to adjust that one shoulder that has given me endless issues. We'll see. I haven't done that shoulder yet. We'll see if it goes around easy, but I am just very slowly sewing this. Stitched around the edge.
I have not ironed it. That's what I'm about to do. I'm hoping I can iron out most of these wrinkles. The one I'm not going to be able to iron out is this tiny bit. I thought about unstitching and restitching, but honestly, I think I'm just going to have that same issue. I think there's just a hair bit too much fabric, and this is not stretchy. The silk, actually the original silk was, but I did interface it to give it a little bit more body, and so it is not stretchy. So I think rather than futzing around with it, creating holes, I'm just gonna leave it. It's a tiny little bit. It's in the back. It'll be covered by my hair. Here we are at the end. We have a fully made dress, also shirt and pants. It's a little warm right now. I went ahead and adjusted the top of the darts on this side, and I haven't done this side, so you'll see they're a little gapey. I wanted to try it on and make sure definitely the adjustments are better, so I'll do that, and then I'm completely done with this dress. I skipped the last parts. All it was, once I got the neckline in, was sewing in the arm sleeve, sewing all the way down the end, and for the sleeves and the bottom, just hemming it. I just used my cover stitch, and so easy. I really like how this turned out. I think overall, super cute. A little whimsical without being too whimsical, so that's always a plus. I think what really helps with that is when you get clothes that fit your body shape, right? So I look good in A-line as well as Empire waisted stuff. So like, even though it is a little bit more whimsical, it fits me. So you're like, oh, well, okay. I'm very excited about the accessories. When I do the next video, which will be the accessories, I'll do some time at the end and show you kind of how I style it. It is just way too hot right now. I'm just a little warm, and I can't do it. I don't want to get this all sweaty, but I am very excited. Tomorrow is Easter, so I might wear my outfit for Easter. And honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about this one other than the drama of the top. Once I got past getting the neckline in, this has been so easy. All parts, the pants, the shirt, and the dress, super easy. I have the patterns now. I did put some little pleats that look cute. I look better with pleats than I do with the scrunching, so I always do pleats. I'll have to fix this on the pattern, but other than that, I think everything came out really well. I just love it. I feel really comfortable. I feel really confident. I'm happy. Sometimes there's just not a lot bad to say. I guess that's it. I thank you guys so much for joining me. I had a great time doing this. I'm excited to share it with y'all. If y'all have any questions or comments or anything, just put them in the comments below. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe. I'll be back with more sewing content as well as paper crafting. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.